The earth was new. It was vast. It was empty. There were no cities, no armies, no laws, and no police. There were only a handful of human beings on the entire planet. It was a paradise, a fresh start for the children of Adam. But in this pristine, untouched world, a dark seed was about to be planted, a seed that would grow into a tree of violence that would shadow humanity until the end of time. It happened in an open field. Two brothers stood facing each other. One was filled with light and peace. The other was consumed by a fire he couldn't control. And in a moment of blind rage, the unimaginable happened. A rock was lifted, a blow was struck, and for the first time in history, the warm red blood of a human being spilled onto the earth. The first death, the first crime, the first tragedy. We know the names, Cain and Abel, in the Quran. They are the two sons of Adam. But do we know the real story? Do we know why it happened? Do we know the shocking details of what happened after the murder? When the killer was left alone with a corpse he didn't know how to hide? This is the untold story of the first sin. It is not just a story about murder. It is a story about the most dangerous emotion in the human heart. To understand the crime, we have to understand the criminals. Cain and Abel were brothers, but they were opposites. Cain was a farmer. He worked the land. He was rough, hard-working, but his heart was attached to his possessions. He was proud of what he grew. Abel was a shepherd. He herded sheep. He was gentle, soft-hearted, and deeply connected to his Lord. He understood that everything he had was a gift. The conflict didn't start with a fight over land or money. It started with a test of worship. It was a time when the laws were different. To marry, the sons of Adam had to marry their sisters from a different pregnancy. Cain was commanded to marry Abel's twin sister, and Abel was commanded to marry Cain's twin sister. But Cain wasn't happy. His own twin sister was more beautiful. He wanted her for himself. He refused the command of his father, Adam, and the command of God. He wanted to change the rules to suit his desire. To settle the dispute, Adam, peace be upon him, proposed a divine test, a sacrifice. Each of you, he said, offer a sacrifice to your Lord. Whoever's offering is accepted will have the right. In those ancient times, the sign of acceptance was terrifying and clear. A fire would descend from the sky and consume the accepted offering. The rejected offering would be left untouched. So the two brothers went to prepare. Abel, the shepherd, went to his flock. He looked for the best animal he had, the fattest, healthiest, most beautiful ram. He loved this animal, but he loved God more. He offered the best of what he had, with a pure heart. Cain, a farmer, looked at his crops, but he didn't pick the best, he thought. Why should I give my best produce to be burned by fire? It's a waste. So he picked the worst. The withered grain, the rotten fruit, the leftovers. He offered it with a heart full of arrogance and stinginess. They placed their offerings on the top of a mountain. They waited, the sky opened, a white fire descended. It moved towards the offerings. It completely ignored Cain's pile of rotten crops. It went straight to Abel's ram, consumed it, and ascended back to the heavens. The verdict was delivered. Abel was accepted. Cain was rejected. It should have been a moment of reflection, a moment to say, I made a mistake. I should have been sincere. But Cain didn't feel regret. He felt humiliated. And in that humiliation, a new emotion was born, an emotion that had never existed in a human heart before. Envy. He looked at his brother, and he didn't see a righteous man. He saw a rival. He saw someone who had beaten him. The Quran captures the chilling conversation that followed. Cain walked up to Abel. His face was twisted with a new kind of darkness. He said simply and brutally, I will surely kill you. He didn't say, I will hit you. He said, I will kill you. He wanted to erase his brother's existence. Abel's response is one of the most beautiful and heartbreaking speeches in the Quran. He didn't get angry. He didn't pull out a weapon. He didn't threaten him back. He looked at his angry brother and gave him the secret of acceptance. He said, Indeed, God only accepts from the righteous, he was saying. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at your own heart. Fix your intention, and God will accept from you too. Then, seeing the murder in Cain's eyes, Abel made a vow of non-violence. He said, "If you stretch your hand against me to kill me, I will not stretch my hand against you to kill you. Indeed, I fear God, the Lord of the worlds. I want you to bear my sin and your sin, so you will be among the companions of the fire." Abel refused to fight. He chose to be the victim rather than the oppressor. He knew that the one who kills loses everything, and the one who dies unjustly wins everything. But Cain wasn't listening. The envy was deafening. The envy was deafening. The voice of his ego was screaming. The Quran says, "So his soul permitted to him the murder of his brother." His soul permitted it. It justified it. It made the unthinkable seem easy. Just do it. Get rid of him. Then you will be free. Then you will be happy. And so the moment came. Some narrations say Abel was sleeping. Some say he was working. Cain came up behind him. He lifted a rock, perhaps the first weapon ever used, and he brought it down, and just like that, the light of Abel was extinguished. The first blood soaked into the soil. The first life was taken. Cain stood over the body. The rage vanished, and in its place, a cold, hollow silence rushed in. He waited for the satisfaction. He waited for the relief, but it didn't come. Instead, he felt a crushing weight. He looked at his brother. He wasn't moving. He wasn't breathing. He was just meat. And now, Cain faced a problem that no human being had ever faced before. What do you do with a dead body? There were no cemeteries. There were no graves. No human had ever died before. Cain didn't know what death looked like. He saw the body beginning to change. The stiffness, the smell, the insects gathering. He panicked. He couldn't leave him there for their father Adam to find. He couldn't just walk away. So according to the narrations, he put his brother on his back. He carried him. He walked through the valleys and the mountains, carrying the rotting corpse of the brother he murdered. The burden of his sin was literally strapped to his shoulders. He was lost. He was exhausted. He was tormented. He was wandering the earth with his crime, looking for a way to hide it. And this brings us to the untold teacher, the creature that taught humanity how to deal with death. Allah, looking down at this tragedy, sent a sign. He didn't send an angel. He sent a bird, a crow. Cain, sitting exhausted on the ground with his dead brother, saw two crows fighting nearby. They fought viciously until one killed the other. Cain watched, mesmerized. The living crow didn't fly away. It stood over the dead crow. It began to dig. It scratched at the earth with its beak and its claws. It dug a small hole in the ground. Then it gently pushed the dead crow into the hole, and it covered it with dirt. It smoothed the earth over, hiding the body completely. Cain stared. A bird, a simple black bird, had more wisdom than him. The realization broke him. He burst into tears. He cried out, "Woe to me! Have I failed to be like this crow and hide the body of my brother?" The killer was humbled by a scavenger. He followed the crow's example. He dug the first grave in human history. He placed Abel inside. He covered him with earth. And for the first time, the earth swallowed a secret. But the story doesn't end with the burial. The most terrifying part is the legacy. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told us a hadith that should make every single one of us tremble. He said, "No soul is killed unjustly, except that the first son of Adam carries a share of the guilt." Why? Because he was the first to establish the tradition of killing. Think about the weight of that. Every murder committed in history, every war, every genocide, every drive-by shooting, every act of unjust violence from the beginning of time until the day of judgment. A percentage of that sin goes automatically to Cain's account. He started the trend. He opened the door, and because he opened it, he carries the burden of everyone who walks through it. He is carrying a mountain of sin that grows every single day. This story serves as a profound warning for us. Not just about murder, but about innovation in sin. If you start a bad trend, if you invent a new way to sin, if you introduce a new drug, or a new type of indecent content, or a new way to cheat people and others follow you, you get a share of their sin even after you die. If you post a video that leads thousands astray, you are gathering sins in your grave. You are becoming a Cain for your followers. But the opposite is also true. If you start a good tradition, you get the reward of everyone who follows it. The second lesson is about envy. This entire tragedy, the death, the grief of Adam, the eternal punishment, started with a simple feeling of why him and not me? Envy is the root of all evil. It was envy that made Iblis refuse to bow to Adam. And it was envy that made Cain kill Abel. It is a fire that burns the one who holds it. Cain didn't hurt Abel in the long run. Abel went to paradise. He is the first martyr. He is honored forever. Cain hurt himself. He destroyed his own dunya and akira. When you feel jealous of someone, of their money, their looks, their success, their righteousness, remember Cain. Remember that you are holding the same weapon that killed the first man. Throw it away. Make dua for them. Say, "Oh Allah, bless them and give me better." Do not let the seed of Cain grow in your heart. And finally, the lesson of the crow. Allah can teach us through anything. Sometimes wisdom comes from the most unlikely sources. A bird, an ant, a child, a difficult situation. Cain was arrogant. He thought he knew better than God, but in the end, he knew less than a bird. We must remain humble. We must realize that we don't know everything. We need Allah's guidance for everything, even for how to bury our dead. The story of the first murder is not ancient history. It is a mirror. We look at Cain and we see the danger of letting our emotions control us. We see the horror of letting ourselves justify sin. And we look at Abel and we see the beauty of the peaceful heart. The heart that says, "I will not harm you, even if you harm me." The heart that fears God more than it fears death. The earth has covered the body of Abel, but the lesson remains alive. We are all the children of that day. We carry the DNA of both brothers. Inside every one of us, there is a Cain, angry, jealous, entitled, and inside every one of us, there is an Abel, patient, trusting, submissive, every day, in every conflict, in every moment of jealousy. We have to choose, which brother will we be?